Okay, who's it? All right, got it. Oh, I can't record on top of you, by the way. It's saying, please ask the host to give you permission to record. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Well, do you want me to stop and you can see if you can record then?
Oh, it's okay. Just send, you can just send me the link.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, I'll get us started really quick. Thank you all for joining us. I know it sometimes technology is a little frustrating and challenging, so we appreciate you all working through it and then taking the time this afternoon to join us. We're really excited to be working with Melody and Lance, and we're excited that you could all hop on here and support them. So we'll get started. Melody and Lance are going to start by sharing a little bit of their story and their journey right now. You're muted.
All right, Lance, got it. Okay, there we are. All right, so we just really wanted to kind of take this opportunity for like our closest friends and family to kind of introduce you guys to like our launch with our business and our partnership with Juice Plus. And so, I mean, most of you guys probably know, like, we've been using Juice Plus for a couple of years now, and even longer for Lucy, but I just figured I'd just like recap and kind of share like our journey and how we got connected to them and like why we're so passionate about it and like how we're kind of adding this as a foundation for nutrition starting this year in our practice. And I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to try to give the 2 to 3 minute version really quickly. So we met Bridget at like a marketing event. I'm always really skeptical of any salesy stuff. So I really was just like, yeah, whatever. And then a little bit later, you know, we were like trying the samples and we were like, oh, okay, sugar, whatever, yeah, and the gummies, whatever. And then a little bit later, we were looking for a better multivitamin for Lucy. And because we couldn't find like a good like whole food multivitamin on the market. Mostly everything was synthetic and just not good quality. And so I met Bridget for coffee and said, hey, can we talk about this? Can you share a little bit more about like this and why, you know, like what's behind it? Because another doctor I was seeing at the time for some of my health issues had said, oh yeah, they've been around almost 30 years and I've been recommending them for 30 years. And I really respected this doctor. He was a functional medicine doctor. So I was like, okay, let me find out more about this. So we started her on these gummies. I just brought the stuff to show you guys. So that we started her, we just, I was like, well, let me just try it with her. And she can be my guinea pig. She does good. Yeah. So she did the fruit and the veggie gummies and she loved them. And what's great is that like these actually taste amazing. And in every serving, there's 20 different whole foods. So it's literally just, you know, which Bridget's going to share about later. So she was getting way more food variety than we would with any other vitamin that we had ever tried. And then fast forward, we did that for a while. And then I was pregnant with Lucas in my housewarming gift. And I started stealing her, I know, right? I started stealing her gummies and realized that I had more like sustained energy throughout the day. And I remember even saying something like, then I did taking my prenatal. And then after talking to my midwife about it, she goes, oh yeah, I've been recommending Juice Plus for prenatal for my clients for however long. And she said, that's a great company. So then I started hearing from these other healthcare practitioners that I respected, you know, like Juice Plus. So I then started taking them as a prenatal and switched off my prenatal. And I will just, the one thing I'll share, Lance started about a month later. 2 cool things was we no longer had to pay for Lucy's because of their Healthy Starts program, which Bridget will talk about later. So it really was it was an easy switch for me to just say, okay, I'll take the pills and then now her stuff's free. And then the other thing is that Lucas, now for you guys know a lot about my journey. I mean, everybody on here knows about my journey with all my health issues. After having Lucy, I was having severe hormone imbalance, severe adrenal fatigue. Like the first 2 years of her life were probably like the hardest 2 years of my life ever. And I'm going to get emotional talking about it. But when Lucas was born, everything was different. And I will say that like he did not sleep through the night at all until he was 13 months old. And I remember even telling Caitlin and April this, like, I think like the one thing we did differently was I was taking Juice Plus, and like I had no adrenal fatigue, and I had no problems like postpartum. I mean, I had problems postpartum some. I gained weight, and all the other problems came back, but like I was like functional and normal. And my mother-in-law even said, how different I've seen, like even though I still have like a lot of health issues we're trying to resolve, like I've been able to like run my business and function, and I was up 3-4 times a night, and I felt more like April than Melody, because April is the one with 4 children, nursing, and always seems like to have energy. And I was like, I don't know how I get through these days. Like I'd have nights like that where I was up 3-4 times a night. I'm like, I don't know how I'm like have energy. And that's the only thing that I really do attribute a lot of that, then not like this is like a magic formula or anything, but that was a pretty big difference for me. So that's kind of my story. And I reached a point where I said, you know what, like this is crazy. We need to be sharing this with our patients. Like I don't know why we're not, like we need to integrate this into our practice. And so we decided to hit the ground running for 2022. 2021 was a really hard year, again, as was 2020, but 2021 was harder because we didn't have like the government helping us. So it was a rebuilding year. And then we reached the end of last year and we're like, we need to add nutrition. Like this is really, really, really important for everyone. Okay, so that's my thing. And then Lance is gonna share what his much shorter version.
I've been taking supplements and vitamins, and I'm a chiropractor, you all know that. So I try to find supplements to recommend to patients. And so I've been through several different companies, and some have synthetic vitamins and some have whole food vitamin supplements that they offer as well.
Lovely time for interruption, guys.
When we came across Juice Plus, like then it was excuse me. It was a no-brainer because there's whole foods that are packed into these capsules here, and it was a great way to start introducing a foundation for patients to work on. So that's kind of going to be our focus as we're moving forward. But one of the things that really stands out to me is that the Juice Plus has 41 peer-reviewed research articles that support the effectiveness of their supplements, really. And that's something that's really big, strong when you're in healthcare, and most healthcare providers are evidence-based. So
this is the cupcake, guys. I'm sorry. The other cupcake.
So we're definitely looking forward to making a simple change. A lot of my practice now is focused on like rehab and physical medicine, whereas I want to get into nutrition, and this is a great way for me to start patients in that direction. When they come in and they're not taking any supplements, or they're taking like the one a day from Walmart or something, and then we can talk to them briefly about it. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it makes sense to consider something that's whole food. You're taking food, you're not taking a supplement. So
all right, sorry for the distractions. You can totally mute us now, Bridget. We'll do the little Lucas demo at the end for anyone who wants to see him say Rojo Nami, please.
That's okay. All right, let's see. All right, Sharon's going to be running our present PowerPoint here. So I have to say, I love to hear them share that. I even got emotional as you were getting emotional, Melody, because I remember those early days of after having babies and just, gosh, all of it that you go through. So, okay. So a little bit, we wanted to share with all of you in their lives a little bit more. And what I love about our company is we're not just about, a product. We really believe a lot in education. So we're just going to do a real brief, walk through here of why fruits and vegetables are so important. And these are some statistics that are happening in our country. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease, cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes. 1 in 5 children is obese. I have 3 kids. Like I became very passionate once I had my children about what I was feeding them. And down here below, it says our children are more harmed by a poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. Like that's that's crazy to me. So I don't want my children to be in any of these statistics, or myself. And, there's things in our life that we can't always control. There's environmental toxins and, from pollution, water contaminants, pesticides that are on our food. And then, there's skincare products and hair care products, prescription drugs, some of that we can control, but there's a lot we can't. So what does that do to our body, and how can we help it? So, and the other thing is food quality. It's decreasing. More than 50% of what Americans are eating is processed, and our food has so many things in it that just are not good for our bodies. And 50 years ago, it was different. We didn't have as much processed food, but now there's preservatives and, synthetic vitamins, GMO, pesticides, fats that are terrible for us in our food. And, because our produce is traveling so far to get to the grocery stores, it's often being picked way before it's even ripened. And a lot of the nutrients develop in the last stages of ripening, but like bananas are picked green so that they're not rotting, a week later by the time they're sitting on our grocery store shelves. So we're losing nutrition. And like, here's a good example. Broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before we even buy it. So we actually have to eat way more than we ever thought, just to make up the nutrition that we're missing out on. So there's a lot of different ways to be healthier. And I know Lance and Melody, they share this with their patients too. And we all know some of these things: exercise, sleep 7 to 8 hours, manage your stress, drink more water. That's usually one that I encourage people to start when they do adopt Juice Plus into their life. Pair it with drinking more water now. We can choose safer products, and then we can eat more real food. And that's where Juice Plus really comes in as a simple additional tool in our tool belt, a simple solution. So oxidative stress is, some people don't always know what it is, but it's happening constantly in our body, and it causes aging and disease. So for example, if you look at this apple, we know if you cut up an apple and let it sit out, what happens? It turns brown. It's oxidizing. Well, that's what's happening to the cells in our body. They're constantly oxidizing, and it's caused from all different normal living things and extra things that we do, like eating poorly or even exercising. Exercising is good for us, but it causes oxidative stress. But the good news is, like in this photo, if you squirt lemon juice on your apple, it won't turn brown. Well, that's because lemon juice is an antioxidant. It prevents the oxidation, and antioxidants come from fruits and vegetables. So the more we eat, we can more protect our cells from the oxidative stress that occurs on a daily basis. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day because of all those reasons I just mentioned. And I know, like, if you think to yourself right now, like, how many have you eaten so far today? And I know if I think about it, I'm probably at about 3. We haven't had dinner yet, so I might be at 3. But we really need 7 to 13. Athletes need even more. Pregnant moms need even more. And why? Like I said earlier, produce is picked before it's even ripe. It's transported, and 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings. And what we do eat is typically the same fruits and vegetables over and over again. I know my family likes these 5 different things, so that's what I buy all the time. But we really need a variety. We need the rainbow, and a lot of us don't get that either. Okay, so Melody was talking about multivitamins, and this was something I didn't know until a few years ago, but there's a big difference between multivitamins versus whole food. So 70% of Americans take a multivitamin. Most doctors recommend them because they know we're not eating well, or we're not eating what we're supposed to be eating. But if you look at the little box on the left of supplement facts, that's what's in a multivitamin. There's a few isolated nutrients. They smush them all into a vitamin. It's created in a lab. An apple, on the other hand, you see the list on the right, it has almost 10,000 phytonutrients, which are plant nutrients that work all together, and our body knows what to do with those things. Unlike a multivitamin. Our body doesn't always know what to do with all of those because they're isolated and they're just pulled out and kind of mushed together in this vitamin. But our bodies know what to do in the whole food form when we're eating those. So if you were eating an apple versus a multivitamin, you're getting much more nutrition out of that apple. So that brings us to Juice Plus, what Melody and Lance had mentioned. So what is Juice Plus? It adds the nutrition from over 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries. So the whole foods are taken and harvested when they're ripe, and then it's pulverized and dried into powders to preserve the nutrition at a really low temperature. So we don't harm that powerful nutrition. They put it into capsules or chewables or nummies, as he likes to say. And then, and we also have a full spectrum omega blend, which is vegan. So it's no fish, it's algae, berries, and seeds instead of fishiness. And nobody likes fish burps. So Juice Plus is a very simple change. And if you can see, this photo shows all of the fruits and vegetables that are in the different blends, these 3 blends, the fruit, vegetables, and the berries. And, I eat some of those, but I don't eat all of those and don't even know where to buy a few of them. So, or if I had them, I wouldn't even know how to eat them or what to do with them. So this is all of the variety that you get when you're eating in Juice Plus. And then the omegas. So like I said, they're vegan, there's no fish, great benefits for the heart, brain, joints, skin, and eyes. And I did not know this until we came out with our omegas, but omegas don't come from fish, which was shocking to me because you always see fish oil. Omega-3, it's often fish oil capsules. And it doesn't even come from the fish. It comes from the plants the fish eat. But it's a lot easier, I guess, to harvest the fish. So that's what most companies do. But what's happening is, you're also risking toxins and it's not as pure. So Juice Plus goes straight to the plant that the fish is eating, the algae oil. And therefore this is a more sustainable option. And it has all these other plant oils in there that are full of the different omegas. It's full spectrum. So this is omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, cold pressed to protect the oils, not damage the oils. And they're in capsules that are vegan. And then the shakes that Melody had mentioned, these are delicious. They're a whole food shake and non-GMO, gluten and dairy free, and lots of fiber. Most Americans are lacking in fiber. So these are a great source of fiber, and they're low glycemic. So you don't have those spikes in your blood sugar. I know when I drink a shake, because of the fiber, I am usually satisfied for a couple of hours after having a shake. And you can see these are all the plant ingredients that are in our shakes. And you can make energy bites with them, smoothies. We make pancakes and muffins with them also. So there's a lot of variety of what you can do with the shake mix. Yeah, and they're delicious. I actually started with the shakes and my kids drink them every day. And I have one every day. If I don't have one now, I can tell that I just don't feel right because I haven't had my shake. And this is brand new. So Juice Plus just came out with a brand new performance shake. So its focus is performance, and it came out in December. It's all plant-based, but it has a higher protein. So 25 grams of plant protein in this, and it's berry flavored. And I've been drinking it now for about a month, and it's great. And it's for those that are just, maybe you work out a lot or looking for something for recovery, but it gives you that higher protein. And a lot of people are really, really loving it. I like it. I get a lift a little bit. It's like a coffee without being a coffee midday. Gives me that burst of energy. Okay, so Juice Plus is unique. These are the 3 reasons why. And once I learned this, it made a huge difference in how I viewed what I was giving my family. So one, it's food. It's not a multivitamin. So it has a food label, just like a bag of frozen broccoli has a nutrition label. Juice Plus has a food nutrition label on the back because it's food. It's non-GMO, vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. It's NSF certified, which is really, really important. So you want to know that what is on the label of anything that you're putting in your body, what's on the label is in the product, and in the product is on the label, and there's nothing more or less in there. You want to know that there's nothing harmful. So NSF is a company that certifies our Juice Plus, and it checks for banned substances, toxins, mold, pesticides. So we know that what we're getting is there's nothing bad in there for us. And then lastly, like Lance mentioned, it's the most researched nutritional product in the world. So we have 41 studies now. And I know for me as a mom, that really made a big difference because I thought, well, if there's all this science and studies on it, then I know this is safe. And that's when I really was looking for, or decided to have my whole family start taking Juice Plus. I had heard about Juice Plus for a few years, but I was stubborn, so I didn't listen. But I was sick all the time. I was tired. I had sinus infections constantly. I was always on antibiotics. And once I started having kids, it got worse because my kids would bring home these little bugs from school and they would have the sniffles and I'd end up with a sinus infection. And it just was this repeating pattern. And it was so exhausting. And I was on this hamster wheel of being sick and I just couldn't get off. And I tried allergy shots and I did that for years. And then I was on more medication because of the allergy shots. And I was doing nasal sprays and taking something every day. And I wasn't feeling any better. I was still getting sinus infections. And finally, it was my sister-in-law that just kept nicely saying, I don't know, but maybe this might help. This might just help. And I was frustrated and I thought, fine, I'll try it. So I did. And it has made a world of difference. Like thinking back to how I was, it's just crazy how much healthier I am now. So my whole family takes Juice Plus. We haven't been on antibiotics in years. We go for our well visit checks at the pediatrician. She says she misses us because she never sees us anymore. So it's made a world of difference for my family. And I look at it now as like, you can't put a price on health. So having a healthy family is, I think, what every parent wants. Okay, so I am going to turn it over to Karen. She is going to share a little bit. She's been I didn't even introduce myself. So I've been with the Juice Company for about 6 years, and I live in Maryland near Melody. Karen is down in Georgia. She's been with the Juice Plus Company much longer. And so she'll share a little bit about her story and then a little bit more about the research.
Okay, thank you. I think I unmuted myself. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Bridget and Melody and Lance were way smarter than me because the research I knew nothing about research. I really wasn't impressed by it. I simply just knew I needed more fruits and vegetables. I grew up, so I was adopted and had wonderful parents. My birth mother had allergies and asthma. And I don't even know, for as long as I can remember. So probably by the age of 5, 6 years old, I was already having, symptoms with the allergies and the asthma. And I remember getting allergy shots twice a week. And I was on prescription medication for both of them. And it just was kind of a miserable childhood because I would have a tough time even going outside to play in the grass because I was allergic to everything. And I also had digestive issues and I had migraines. And I was told that it was genetic. There was nothing that I could do. I would have this my whole life. So when you hear that, you get kind of defeated. And my mom was a nurse. So I had the best treatment, but nobody ever took the Pop-Tart out of my hand, stopped me from drinking soda. Nobody ever thought about prevention. Nobody ever said, let's look at, maybe we can take away some of the symptoms. So fast forward a lot of years, I suffered for a lot of years. When I got pregnant with my son, my best friend introduced me to Juice Plus. And honestly, again, the only thing that really made sense to me was I knew I wasn't getting enough fruits and vegetables. And probably the only reason I got started is because I cared more for my baby than I did for myself. I think if somebody had introduced me to Juice Plus without me being pregnant, I don't know if I would have gotten it. And so I was not allowed to take the prescription medicine and all the stuff I was on during the pregnancy. So I was like, all right, I'll just suffer through it. I realized at the end of the pregnancy, I hadn't needed it. He would told me to take, over the counter stuff, which quite honestly is like a Tic Tac once you've been on prescription. And it has now been over 17 years since I have had to take allergy, asthma medication. I don't get the migraines anymore. I don't get the digestive issues. Well, unless I'm like on vacation and eating junk, but I don't have all that stuff anymore. So it was amazing to me that, maybe I do have allergies and maybe I have asthma, but I'm not symptomatic. I don't have them anymore. So much of it was tied to nutrition. And that was such a big aha moment for me that I love that. And it was such a big mom win for me, because I'll tell you, when I was pregnant also, I was so nervous, and it just made me sad because I thought, now my kids are going to have allergies and asthma because they tell me it's genetic and there's nothing I can do. And my kids, my son is 17 and my daughter is 14, and they do not have allergies and asthma. And they've only been on antibiotics once in each of their lives. So my son got bit by a dog and he had to, because it got infected, and my daughter had foot surgery. Other than that, they've never been on antibiotics. We get sick, but it's not sick enough to go to the doctor. We actually go to a chiropractor for preventative care. We really focus on preventative care. So I just love that I learned that. So, all right, let me continue with this. Okay, so Juice Plus, it's, it's not the end all be all. We kind of need to eat right. We need to eat some fruits and vegetables as well. But what it helps us do is it helps us to bridge the gap. You want to eat as many fruits and vegetables as you can, but Juice Plus is definitely there to help you bridge the gap on how much you're getting and also the variety. I know Bridget talked about that. And there's a lot of produce that I like, but if I bought it all, I know it's going to rot in the refrigerator. So I can only buy so much, and my kids only eat so much. And my husband as well. He's just as bad as the kids. So let's talk about the research really quickly, because I know Lance mentioned, and this is what my mom as a nurse and my dad, who was kind of a research geek, this is what impressed them. Juice Plus is not about treating and curing specific conditions or diseases. It's simply just fruits and vegetables. But imagine if your body gets that amount of nutrition every single day, how you're allowing it to heal itself. So, it's just plant-based nutrition. And you'll see a little bit about the research. So you guys can, I'm not going to read through these. You guys can scan through some of these universities. But I heard a doctor speak one time, and it really impressed upon me. And he said, you're known by the company you keep. And if all of these amazing universities have been a part of the Juice Plus clinical research studies, and it's published research in medical journals, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I'm pretty proud to be aligned with a company that does that. And if you look at, we even have, I'll kind of shout this one out. I wasn't going to say anything, but I just love the one. It was done at MD Anderson Cancer Institute in Houston, and it's done with ovarian cancer survivors. So, and that was actually funded by the National Institute of Health, which is my and your tax dollars, which is pretty cool. Let me go to the next one. So we're just going to summarize really quickly. You guys can look at this. What does Juice Plus do? And what do fruits and vegetables do? These amazing little powders and these pills. So thousands of doctors recommend it, just like Lance, because they know what it's going to do, right? It helps with your cardiovascular, reduces systemic inflammation. It helps to support a healthy immune system. It helps with periodontal. It helps, we have skincare research, reduces oxidative stress. It protects your DNA. It does everything fruits and vegetables do. We're just not eating enough. And then Dr. Richard Du Bois, this is so profound, quite honestly. There's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. So I know Melody was talking about the Family Healthy Starts program, and both of my kids have been on this. And it's such a blessing, because as they've gotten older, it's harder for me to get some of the fruits and vegetables and some of the healthy food into them. They're not making as good of choices as they used to. But look at some of the statistics. I mean, imagine as a parent, I was talking to somebody the other day, especially if you're a parent that works, you have a sick child, guess what? Now you have to take off from work and you miss work. You have co-pays, you have maybe prescription medicine. And then just the fact of you feel like, I used to, I'm sure my mom was just like, gosh, I wish there was something more I could do as a mom to help her. And there is, besides just trying to live a healthier lifestyle, Juice Plus does help with, getting our kids healthier. And I love that the company does this program, honestly, to help families, because some people are not in a financial situation where they could afford to purchase the adult and the child products, capsules, gummies, whatever you want to take. And the company realizes that, probably like Melody did, and she mentioned that if we have to choose, a lot of times we're going to choose our kids over us first. So that's one of the awesome things that the company does, is if we order it for ourselves, our kids ages 4 through really undergrad and college get Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years. The Tower Garden, I actually have my Tower Garden, which is going crazy right now. I have the one in my office, the one on the left, the Tower Garden Home. But the Tower Garden, this is another way that you can get more nutrition. Not everybody wants to garden, but I will tell you, my Tower Garden grows despite me. I have a black thumb. I have killed everything, but because this is self-watering, it comes with the nutrition that you put in there. I literally have left on vacation. I come home and it's just out of control. It really is just amazing. And the taste of the produce that you get off of here is, it's just amazing. You can go to the grocery store. I have arugula growing on it, as a matter of fact. And you can go to the grocery store and buy a big thing of arugula. You can go to a restaurant and get an arugula salad and eat the whole thing. You cannot do this with this arugula. I can only take about maybe 1 or 2 leaves off and break it up into a salad because it is so strong. So the quality of it is so much better than produce. You realize what you're missing once you have the Tower Garden. Okay, so joining our mission, I know that's what, Melody and Lance are doing, is they realize how Juice Plus has impacted their family. And they want to, they have servants' hearts anyway with what they're doing, being chiropractor and helping others. And this is just taking it one step further. And I didn't necessarily have that, but I knew how my health was impacted, and I couldn't keep that to myself. So I started sharing with my friends and family. Jay Martin is the founder and the president of the Juice Plus company. And it's since 1970, our mission has been to inspire healthy living around the world and build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people realize their dreams. And I will tell you that I didn't even have the dream to be a stay-at-home mom, but this business did that for me. When I signed up, which was almost a year after starting Juice Plus, I had no idea that this was going to allow me to be a stay-at-home mom and to be the homeroom mom and to be able to go on field trips and spend time with my parents, ailing before they passed away. It has afforded me so much freedom to be able to do the things that I really were important to me or are important to me. And it also now has, it pays for the mortgage, it pays the bills. So it really has been, it's just been a game changer for me. The company's mission is unique. We're all about healthcare. It's a wellness industry, which is not going away for sure. So it's founded in 1970. It's in over 20 countries. We're actually over 16 billion in sales since the inception. Now this slide needs to be updated. And then this is easy. We kind of share and change lives as we live life. So I know Bridget and we have girls in volleyball, right? We've probably talked to other volleyball moms. We talk to neighbors. You go out. I've actually shared with people when I'm at the grocery store. I saw a woman one time and you could see her poor son with like the green snotty nose and he felt terrible. And I said, I don't know if you've ever heard of. And so you get so passionate about helping others that you can just do this while you live life. It's not like I have to sit down and, work 8 to 5 and I'm my own boss. Sharing on social media during the last 2 years, our business has exploded because all of a sudden everybody wants to get healthy, and social media was the way to do it. It was so easy. And sharing education, kind of like this event right now. And we have videos, the company does videos. We have doctors and healthcare professionals and fitness professionals in the company that do presentations every single week, sharing about, health and education that we're able to invite people to and share. So the amount of your Juice Plus earnings is a direct reflection of the number of people that you're helping. And I love that. So we invite you to join us in some way. We hope that you simply add more fruits and vegetables. We hope that you become a Juice Plus customer with either, the capsules and the shakes, maybe a Tower Garden, whatever, sparked your interest during this presentation. The becoming a partner and sharing Juice Plus with your family. That's a great thing. A lot of times when people get excited about a lot of the products, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be on the fruits, the veggies, the berries, and the omegas, and I want to do the shakes. Then we kind of look at, gosh, I think that makes sense. And how many family members do you have? It makes sense to become a partner to get a discount. And then all of a sudden people naturally share with their family and friends because they have great health the benefits from the health of taking it. They can't help not to. And then earning extra income. Even if somebody, I have partners on my team that even with earning an extra $300 a month to $500 a month, that's a car payment for some people. Some people, it helps to pay for a private school. They put it away, they take a vacation. So, I mean, I don't know who couldn't use a little bit of extra money. So let me stop sharing real quick. All right. And did anybody have any, we're going to go over questions, but I don't know if Lance or Melody want to ask any or mention anything.
Yeah, I just had just a couple things I just want to mention based on some of the stuff I saw. The one thing that we talked about with the NSF certification, like I've had a lot of people asking about, like, is it organic? Is it organic? You know, how do we know there's not pesticides and stuff? And that NSF label goes beyond organic. And Bridget, I think you told us that the reason they don't get the organic certifications because they're not just sourcing foods in the US, right? And the US is a USDA organic. It was like, we need to know, like, because modern farming and agricultural industry, it's the way it's going, let's designate something. And I think they did that in 1995 or something. But, you know, like April knows, like in Israel, stuff is grown organically, but they don't have an organic certification. So when you source foods from around the world, you have to do something different than, you can't be considered organic if your foods are sourced outside the US, correct?
Yes.
Is that
Sorry.
right? Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah.
And the other thing too is we also, Juice Plus works with a lot of family farmers and like multi-generation farms. So, you know, getting an organic certification is also very expensive, very challenging. And for some of these smaller family farms, it's just an additional. And so Juice Plus works very closely with our farmers all over to ensure how they're growing things and the processes they're using to grow and harvest and process everything. So it's a very closely, watched process everywhere. So then, yes, and then the NSF certification is that other extra guarantee, a certainty that there's nothing harmful in the products.
Yeah, and that was like a big deal for me, you know. I did buy Lance a tower garden for Christmas, so we were like really excited to get that set up and start growing our own, because with this new leaky gut diet I've been eating like salad every single day. And I actually just got this new Pampered Chef like quick slice thingy that like it's like a rapid prep mandolin thingy. I literally got it in the mail today. I'm like so excited to make my salads now. So when we get those two things going, I'm gonna be like Julia Child. And then April, I had sent this to you before, but they have the Israeli website. So Caitlin, interesting, you guys said like Caitlin works for NIH, right? So she's a scientist, so she's really into the science side of things. I thought that was interesting that they funded one of the studies, because one of the things that you read online, if you just research, is some people come up and say, oh, Juice Plus has a company that's funding its own research. And, I talked to Bridget about that too, because a lot of people say like, oh, is it skewed? Is it skewed? No, these are actually, they might be funding it because they want their products to like, they want to put their money where their mouth is. They don't just want to like, promote something and say it works and not have anything to show for it. Like they've got their skin in the game. They've got their money behind it, where they're backing these institutions. University of Maryland was on there. University of Milan, like across the world, doing these research things. They're funding it, but they're not altering the results, And I think it was great that NIH was involved in that. So I thought that was interesting for Caitlin. And I think it's great that they're known worldwide too. Yes, pharmaceuticals also pay for their research, but it's just one of the things that you'll see online. Like you just like Google about Juice Plus, people are like, I don't trust them. They fund their own research. Well, do you trust the pharmaceutical companies funding their own research? But I think it's great that because like you said, they're like the only nutritional company that has all this research. And that was a big thing for doctors. The other thing I want to mention, because April, I've been excited for you guys too, like, because they ship to Israel, and they have their own chiropractic practice there too. And one of the great things is you don't have to carry inventory with every nutritional whether you were from iHerb or anabolic or standard process, you got to carry the inventory, and it's just not profitable with the volume of patients either one of us is seeing. And so part of this advantage of this partnership is that they get to order, we can order it directly, and literally it ships like so fast. And so I'm not sure if it's the same for Israel, because I watched this video about partners in Israel, and they said there was a lot of problems when they first opened the Israel market, but the company, with the company. The company was so caring that they fixed it. Like, they spent like months like working directly with just this couple that was selling Juice Plus in Israel and wanting to open an Israeli market. And they fixed to fix all the problems, and now like their business is booming over there. So I thought that was cool too. So I love the business side of things, but obviously that's not our goal for you guys. Like that, I mean, maybe April, like secretly, because I want you guys to do this. But really, like, our goal, is to share with you guys our passion for this and what it's done for us. And you heard a little about their testimonies too. And I mean, testimonies, everybody's experience is going to be different. And I've gotten our team, like most of our staff is started taking this now too. And so we've made it like an employee benefit. We pay for half of their stuff. And because I feel that strongly about it, that, your lives are going to be better. You're going to have less sick days, yada, yada, yada. And the other thing I just wanted to mention very quickly about the kids program that I didn't know before was that it doesn't have to be kids within your own household that you sponsor. So like mom and dad, if you guys both got on Juice Plus, you could technically sponsor like Emma and Braden for free, and they could take the gummies for free. So they could be grandkids. They don't have to be kids within your household. As long as they're between the ages of 4 and 18, you can get that extra children's order for free, which I think is pretty phenomenal. And they're very flexible. So I just love that. Also about the protein powder, I have gone back and forth about this protein powder. And I will just say that, I have not found any protein powders that I like as food, like to make into snacks as food. Like I've used so many different protein powders. I have 2 whole like hyacinth baskets of protein powders. Sorry. And I keep coming back to Juice Plus because it's the only one that actually tastes good. And of course it's packed full of nutrients too, but it's the only one that actually tastes good as food to make. And both my kids love. We make this like chocolate chip cookie dough with like almond butter and coconut milk, and then just add chocolate chips. And it's like a perfect like after school snack. So they absolutely love it. And then one more thing I just want to mention, people have also talked to me about the size of the pills. So I just wanted to show like you really quick, these are not big pills. They're like really easy. They're like maybe like the medium size, like they're easy to swallow. It takes 30 seconds to take 4 of them. And as someone who used to have a lot of trouble swallowing pills, that used to be a big hangout for me. So I just wanted to mention that. That's it. I would love for all you guys to start using Juice Plus. But this is what we're going to be really pushing in 2022 because I am so passionate about it. And I think it's made a really big difference in our lives. So I think it make a difference in your lives too. And Lucas, wait, here, we'll do the quick. Lucas, say Roho Nami, please.
Roho Nami, please.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
What is the first word?
I was teaching him Spanish because he's so smart. So I was saying Rojo.
Red, Rojo.
Say red.
Red.
What's your favorite? Red, green, or purple? Green. Green likes the veggies the best.
That's so cute.
Aw.
So does anyone have? Do any of you guys like have any questions or
There was
like?
a question in the chat. Is there a limit on how many kids you can sponsor in your lifetime? So it is supposed to be 1 adult for 1 child. So, like I sponsored my son. Now, I will say that the company, if you go for a while in between, I don't know the exact time, maybe a year or so, you could sponsor another child down the road. Possibly we could look into that, but it is supposed to be a limit of 4 years for, per adult and child.
No, I think what she's asking, so let's say, so her child is not old enough yet. So if she sponsored her sister's child who has more children, would she be able, when her child turns 4, to switch it over? What? What did you say?
Just a
April?
few more.
Good boy, do I.
Boy, there you go. Yes, way more, way more. Would she be able to switch over, like if she were to sponsor one of her sister's children, when her child turns 4, would she be able to switch over the sponsorship to her own child?
Well, you would
Or
have to cancel that family health study and then do a different one.
Okay, so she could basically like cancel that order and then sign up again for her own order.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think technically you're supposed to. So if like her husband could sponsor one of the childs, or even like a grandma, if she puts it under a different adult name, that probably would be better.
Gotcha, because Caitlin, I think what they're saying is there's a limit of 4 years total that you can sponsor someone.
Yeah, because I was just curious because we may or may not have another child, so that's why I was wondering. Because then
Right.
if there's just 2 of us, we could only do 2.
Right.
That's why I was asking.
Well, yeah, but
again,
Bridget, I mean, honestly, like in that situation, like if you sponsored one of her kids and then like you guys had another kid, like, I mean, you can always like cancel an adult order at some, I mean, because then you gotta wait till that kid's 4 years old anyway to be, like, Lucas isn't eligible. So we pay for his,
Yeah, but she just said you're only supposed to do 1 per adult, like in your lifetime, basically. She said you could get around it if you maybe wait a year or 2, but that's what I was.
Oh, I see. Like wait a year or so and then like cancel the
Yeah.
order and then redo it, like re-sign up.
I
Bridget,
mean,
do you
that's what
wanna
it
weigh in
sounded
on
like
that?
she was saying.
Yeah, technically it is supposed to be 4 years for the, a maximum of 4 years. But that's why I said is, there have been people that have done that where they can go ahead and sponsor another child. But again, you can always use a different adult's name. You could use your, a parent's name or, So
Oh, like Caitlin, you would cancel yours and then sign up as your mom, like if she wasn't a customer, and then sponsor your own child for her name, is what she said.
Right.
we can figure it out. We will not let it, that's not gonna be a stumbling block.
Okay. Also, are you going to go over like the pricing and stuff? Because I have a few questions about it. I was just, if you're going to go over it, though, I'll wait.
We weren't planning on including it just because of the time, but if
Okay.
you, we could have Melody send you some info or about the different pricing. Did you have something specific, like a specific? It might be easier to have her.
Yeah, I can ask Melody. I just don't know exactly how it works. Is it like 1 month you'll get like the berries, or is it like you can purchase all 4 of them in 1 month?
Oh, okay. I can explain that. Yeah. So you can purchase all of them and you get them. The goal is to have it all, right? So like if you want to get the red, the fruits and the veggie, the berry and the omega, you can order all of those. When you get it, everything comes in a 4-month supply. So one order will last, like say one order of berry will last you 4 months. If you're taking it every day, you get enough for 4 months. So if you get, so personally, I take all 4 blends. So I take all those capsules each day and every box I receive lasts me 4 months long.
Okay.
So that's how it comes. Yeah. So, Karen has the boxes there.
We
We're
also
actually
do-
right now. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say for the month of January, the company's doing 10% off. If you do want to order all 4 blends, it's the first time we've ever done a sale, but you would, if you want to order all 4, they all show up at your door and you have enough for 4 months of each color.
Yeah, so the company is awesome because they want everybody to be able to afford it. So with the 10% off the Protection Plus with the fruits, veggies, berries, and omegas, it works out to be you can pay monthly for that. So just like Bridget said, when you receive it, you receive all 4 months of all the capsules. So it looks like a lot. But then let's say you ordered today, January 23rd. Your first payment would be January 23rd, then February, then March, and then April. And then that shipment that you received would be paid for, if that makes sense. And the Protection Plus at the discount is $94.50 per month. I don't know where you live, so there's going to be food taxes and stuff like that on top of it, but that's the base price. There's no extra, the shipping and handling and everything is included in that. The only thing with that special is it is not included with the Healthy Starts for Families program because you're already getting, a child's portion for free.
And so the gummies, are they like actual gummies or is it like powder chews?
They are like a gummy, and
They're
you
like
can taste, like when you eat the vegetable one, kids, I think sometimes, are expecting something like a Welch's, but it's so good, like the vegetable one. You can actually taste that it has fruits and vegetables in it. But
They're about the same size as your vitamin D gummies and just
okay.
softer. They're just softer. They yeah. Interestingly enough, we have a Friday night movie night tradition here. We have like kids in the neighborhood come over, and I was giving the kids their gummies, and we added the berries because of COVID. And so we started giving them the berry blend, which Lucy had never liked, but now that like Lucas is taking it, I peer pressured her into it, and I will say it really grows on you. It starts to taste like more like a Concord grape, after a while. But they're not overly sweet. There's only 2 carbs per gummy or whatever. But what's interesting is I gave the kids that were here, and I gave them each one, and neither one of them really cared for the berry. They were like 5 or 6 out of 10. But I gave them the veggie one afterwards, and they were like 7 and 8 out of 10. And then the fruit one, they were like 10 out of 10. So I was like, label them. And these are, kids that eat standard American diet, a little bit of ethnic food because the one is, his parents are Indian and Pakistani, but for the most part, standard American diet kids, and they liked them and a kid approved. So, and you guys know Lucy's, she's pretty picky and opinionated. So if she takes them, I'll tell you, like most kids will take them. So there, and you can order for adults the gummies too. You just take twice as many. So instead of 4 a day, you take 8 a day, like 4 of each instead of 2 of each. So it's basically exactly the same food. It's just put into the gummy form versus a capsule, which is cool. I like that. It's not altered, for children.
Is that the same price?
Well, the kids price is half the price of the adult price because you take twice.
Okay, so it is the same
price as the adult price as the capsules. Yep, I think so.
And then I'm sorry, I know I'm asking a lot of questions. And then what age are you? I know you give them to Lucas, but is there like a specific age that you're allowed to start them, or just whenever they can eat food, or is it technically not until 4 or whatever?
God, sorry, I tried to mute. I hit something wrong. Yeah, good question, Bridget, because remember I told you Lucas started taking them and I was asking you the same thing.
Yeah, so no, they're safe it's fruits and vegetables, so it's safe for any age. They start the Healthy Starts for Family program where you can get a free order for children. They start that at age 4 because the company also sends you a survey when you do that program, and
For, like,
they
school.
ask you some questions about your health and are you missing school? And so most kids start some form of school at 4, so it's easier to kind of track the different results. But they're safe for anybody. You can, like Dr. William Sears, I don't know if you know who he is. He recommends like opening up the capsules for babies once they're allowed to start eating solid food and sprinkling the capsules like right on their tongue or right on their food.
In yogurt. That's
when
what we
they're
did with
young.
the berries for Lucy. She loved it because it made her yogurt purple.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I usually turn off the recording for the questions. Do you want me to keep it going? Do you want me to turn it off?
Melody, you're
Keep it going.
muted.
Yeah, Mel muted herself.
Yeah, we can end the recording. So this way I can send it out to people and it